Hello students, hope you are all well. Today we are going to discuss about the structure of nucleus. During the previous class we already discussed about the structure and function of cell membrane as well as cell wall. Today we'll discuss about a very important part of cell which is nucleus. Okay, so here you can see the definition. The definition of the if we see the definition of the nucleus, we'll see that it is a dense organelle present in most eukaryotic cell. As we already know that eukaryotic cell does not have any prominent or a definite structure of nucleus. They have only the genetic material, but it is not enclosed within a specific structure, and we can't say that they have nucleus. So obviously eukaryotic cell have nucleus. It is typically a single rounded structure bounded by a double membrane. So it is a spherical structure present inside the cell, and it is bounded by membrane containing the genetic material. This is the definition. Later we will discuss all the point in detail. Here you need to remember the definition of the nucleus, which is it is a dense organelle present in most eukaryotic cell, typically a single rounded structure bounded by a double membrane containing the genetic material. So this is about the primary idea about a nucleus. Now, who discovered this nucleus? You need to know who is the scientist behind it. Robert Brown, in the year of 1831, first discovered the nucleus. But the detailed structure, or you can say the further investigation done by scientist Fleming, and the structure of the nucleus, which we will discuss, actually given by the scientist Fleming. So, if anyone asks you that who discovered nucleus, then you need to say that it is discovered by Robert Brown, but the detailed structure was given by the scientist Fleming. Okay. Now, coming to the next slide. What is the location of the nucleus? We know that nucleus present within the cell, but which is the actual location of it? If you see the structure of this is animal cell, you can say this is the animal cell and this is the plant cell. Okay. Now in animal cell, the nucleus is centrally located. In most of the cases in animal cell, the nucleus present in central position. As you see, this is the structure of the nucleus, this is the nucleus. So nucleus in animal cell, you need to remember this, that in animal cell, the nucleus present in middle portion or centrally located spherical structure. But in plant cell, it is present to the peripheral side. In the peripheral side of the, here you can say sidewise, it is in the peripheral side of the cell due to the presence of large vacuole. This large vacuole present in the plant cell, that's why there is a scarcity of space and the nucleus is generally placed peripherally. But in case of animal cell, the vacuoles are very small, so there are enough space for the nucleus to present centrally. Okay, so if anyone asks that in animal cell where the nucleus situated, the nucleus situated in the central position, and in case of plant cell, mostly they are located in the peripheral side, not in exactly central position. Okay, so this is about the location of the nucleus inside the cell. So this is a cell, and you can say that within the cell the nucleus is present inside or just a little behind the inside position, and it is a spherical structure, almost round structure. I already mentioned that it is a round structure or spherical structure present within the cell. So now I think this point is clear for you now. Okay, coming to the next slide. What is this? According to the presence of nucleus inside the cell can be of three type. One is mononucleated cell, That means if a cell has only one nucleus, then this type of cell is known as mononucleated cell. Now coming to the anucleated cell. If a cell has no nucleus at all, then it is known as anucleated cell. Like RBC of adult human. RBC of adult human doesn't have nucleus at all. So we can say that RBC of adult human is known as anucleated cell. Then coming to the polynucleated cell. If in a single cell more than one nuclei will be present, then it is known as polynucleated cell. So mononucleated, one nucleus, anucleated, no nucleus, polynucleated, more than one nuclei. Okay, I think now this point is clear to you. Coming to the next slide. Okay, here we will discuss about the structure of the nucleus. Now you know that nucleus is a spherical or rounded structure present inside the cell. It is in central position or in peripheral position. No problem with this. If I see the structure of the nucleus, we will see that nucleus is surrounded by a membrane-like structure. This is the structure. This is the structure which is known as, this structure is known as the nuclear envelope. So this structure is known as nuclear envelope. So nuclear envelope is a double membrane structure. Listen carefully. Nuclear membrane is a double nuclear envelope is a double membrane structure. So in inside position or inner position, the envelope is known as inner membrane, and in the outer position it is known as outer membrane. Listen very carefully. So if we see the outer covering or protective layer of the nucleus is known as nuclear envelope, and nuclear envelope has two regions mainly. You can say the inner side is known as inner membrane, and the outer side is known as outer membrane. You can see here okay, this portion is the inner membrane and this portion is the outer membrane. So this is the outer membrane, this is the inner membrane, and this structure is known as envelope. This structure is known as envelope. Nuclear envelope. That means the outer protective layer of the nucleus is known as nuclear envelope, and it has two membrane. One is inner membrane and another is outer membrane. I already mentioned you, this is the inner membrane and this is the outer membrane. And between the inner membrane and the outer membrane, if you see the structure, between the inner membrane and the outer membrane, this space, this inside space is known as perinuclear space. This is known as perinuclear space. Perinuclear space. Perinuclear space. Okay. So, a nuclear membrane, or you can say a nuclear envelope, is a double membrane structure that encloses the cell nucleus. It serves, what is the function of the nuclear envelope? It serves to separate the chromosomes from the rest of the cell. That means it serves, it acts as a barrier between the inner part of the nucleus and the outer part of the nucleus. That means it will act as a barrier. Okay, it serves to separate the chromosomes from the rest of the cell. It is a lipid bilayer membrane. So this bimembrane is made up of lipid. This bimembrane is made up of lipid. So we already discussed about the outer protective layer of the nucleus, which is known as nuclear envelope. It has mainly three regions. In outer side it is known as outer membrane, In inner side it is known as inner membrane, and between the outer membrane and the inner membrane the space is known as perinuclear space, and it is a lipid bilayer. And the function of this membrane or function of this envelope, you can say, serve to separate the chromosomes from the rest of the cell. It is a lipid bilayer membrane. Okay, so the main function of the nuclear envelope is to protect the inside material of the nucleus from the rest of the cell. I think now the structure of the nuclear envelope is clear to you. You can see the slide here. What is nuclear envelope? You can okay, one second. You can write the points from here also. So here you can see the nuclear envelope consists of two lipid bilayer membrane, an inner nuclear membrane, this is lipid bilayer membrane, an inner nuclear membrane and an outer nuclear membrane, and the space between the membrane is called perinuclear space. So the inner membrane and outer membrane, the space between it is known as perinuclear space. It is usually about 20 to 40 millimeter wide. 20 to 40 millimeter wide. Okay, the length of the, you can say the breadth of the nuclear envelope is 20 to 40 nanometer wide. The outer nuclear membrane is continuous with the endoplasmic reticulum membrane. If you see the structure here, here we have to go. If you see the outer structure, outer membrane, if you see the outer membrane of the nucleus, you will see that it will continue into a, there it will continue into endoplasmic reticulum. It will continue into endoplasmic reticulum like this. I think if you see the diagram, you can see like this. Wait one second. Yeah. So this is the endoplasmic. So outer membrane of the nuclear envelope continue into the endoplasmic reticulum membrane. Okay. I think now this point is clear to you. So this is about the nuclear envelope. The main function of the nuclear envelope to separate the inside part of the nucleus from the rest of the part of the cell. Basically, the genetic material from the rest of the part of the cell. It is the site which provide protection to the nucleus, the inner part of the nucleus. Okay, the next part of the nucleus, if you see the structure of this, if you see the structure here, okay. We will now discuss about the next structure, which is known as nucleoplasm. Here you can see this structure is known as nucleoplasm. This part is known as the matrix. The matrix where the part of the nucleus embedded or situated is known as the nucleoplasm. It is the matrix of the nucleus, you can say. That means it is actually like protoplasm, like the cell protoplasm. The nucleoplasm also a matrix for the nucleus. Okay, you can see here. So it is a type of protoplasm that is made up of mostly water and mixture of various molecules. Like it can be of different salts, different minerals, proteins, etc. etc. Okay. It is a gelatinous sticky liquid. It's a gelatinous sticky material which acts as a matrix. Okay. It is actually the main function for the nuclear protoplasm, which is known as nucleoplasm. This part is known as nucleoplasm, to maintain the different structure of the nucleus. That means the rest of the part of the nucleus embedded in this structure. Actually, it is a jelly like liquid substance, semi liquid substance, which act as a matrix. This is sufficient for you. So we already discussed about two structure. One is nuclear envelope, which is the outer protective layer of the nucleus, and another is nucleoplasm, which is a gelatinous sticky liquid material which act as a matrix, and the different part of the nucleus is situated within it. Okay, so the next part, here we can see in detail the function of the function of the nucleoplasm. If you see, wait one second, yeah, this is the nucleoplasm. The nucleus of the most cells contain a substance that suspended structure inside the nuclear membrane, just like the cytoplasm found inside a cell. The nucleus contain nucleoplasm. The nucleus contain nucleoplasm, also known as karyoplasm. So another name of the nucleoplasm is karyoplasm, because the another name of the nucleus is karyon. That's why the nucleoplasm, the another name is karyoplasm. So it is the nucleus of the most cell contain a substance. It is a substance that suspended structure inside the nuclear membrane, just like the cytoplasm found inside a cell. The nucleus, all the nucleus contain nucleoplasm, and it acts as a matrix. Okay, so we already discussed about the nuclear envelope and nucleoplasm. Next we will discuss about the structure, which is the most important structure for the nucleus, you can say, which is known as chromatin fiber. Here you can see the blue coil structure. The blue coil structure is known as this blue coil structure. Oh, here I am drawing again. It is the now the yellow structure, you can say. This is the chromatin fiber. It is the most important structure of the nucleus as well as for the structure of the cell. You know why? Because it is responsible for carry the genetic material. It is responsible for carry the genetic material. So which is the genetic material? You can say in case of human, mostly the genetic material is either RNA or either DNA. So this chromatin fiber contain this genetic material, which is known as either DNA or RNA. And if you can see the DNA, the detailed structure of the DNA, you will find that DNA is ultimately made up of gene. Okay, so and these genes are responsible for carry genetic information from one generation to another generation. So genetic information is very much vital thing which we need to carry from one generation to another generation. So which part is responsible for maintaining this? This part, that chromatin fiber, is known as chromatin fiber. The chromatin fiber of the nucleus is known as responsible for carry genetic information from one generation to another generation. Because this, if you see the detailed structure of the chromatin fiber, we will now need to discuss about the detailed structure of the chromatin fiber. You can see. Yes, this is yeah. Here you can see that this is the nucleus. This is a cell. Okay, this is a cell, and inside cell this is a nucleus. If I see the detailed structure of the nucleus, when actually during the cell division phase, what happened, you know, that this structure which is present inside the cell, like chromatin fiber, this structure will condensed. This structure will condense and form this kind of structure, which is known as chromosome, and which is nicely visible under the microscope. But during the cell division stage, you need to remember that the chromosomes are found during the cell division stage, because during the cell division stage, the chromatin fiber, the thread-like chromatin fiber, this thread-like chromatin fiber which was present inside the cell became condensed, and from this, if you see elaborately this structure, we'll find that this structure condense and form this structure which is known as chromosome, So we will only find this structure during the cell division stage. So chromatin fiber actually condense and form chromosome, and if you see the structure of the chromosome, ultimately made up of this structure which is known as DNA. If you see the structure of the chromosome is made up of DNA. Okay, ultimately chromosome made up of DNA, and DNA is responsible for carry genetic information from one generation to next generation. If we see the structure of the DNA, if we there are different segments of DNA. You can say the definite part or definite segment of the DNA also is known as gene, which is known as gene. So the definite segment of the DNA is known as gene. Okay, and this gene is responsible for carry information from one generation to another generation. Actually, all our features, all the expressive characteristics or the morphological characteristics of an organism are actually determined by this structure, by this little bit structure which is known as gene. You just think about the structure of the cell. Cell is itself a microscopic structure. Okay, in most of the cases cell is microscopic structure. Now cell is a very minute structure, and inside the cell the nucleus is a very minute structure, and within the nucleus you think about the chromatin fiber. It's a fine thread like structure. Only during the cell division stage it will condense and form the chromosome. That time it is known as chromosome. And if you see the structure of the chromosome is made up of DNA. And if you see the structure of DNA, the particular segment of the DNA is known as gene, and gene is actually consists of the alternative form of gene which is known as allele, and ultimately these alleles are responsible, or you can say the genes are responsible for carrying genetic information or from one generation to another generation. Actually this gene determine that how the organism will look like. Okay,